Hi, my name is Jay with California Family Law Naked Truth, and for the past 866 days I've been exposed to the California family court system, specifically in Orange County, California, under the presiding Judge Mary Kremer Varipappa. What seemed like just basically a normal divorce proceeding ended up turning into 866 days of misery where I have not seen my children. I have been appointed to one court appointed actor after another, creating just absolute financial ruin. So Judge Kremer Varipappa initially assigned a guardian ad litem, or a minors counsel called Lonnie Klein, and to which she then, several months later, assigned me to a mental health evaluation for $5,000, to which I passed, and then I was permitted supervised monitored visitation with my youngest child at that time, which was my 3-year-old son. Fast forward the monitors and $77,000 out of my pocket to see my son. I was also introduced a 7:30 custody evaluator called Dr. Johnson. Now, fast forward another year in that mix as well, not to mention being financially forced to advance the funds of these actors that were court appointed to my case. And if I didn't, they would force me to sign stipulations to take the equity out of the proceeds of the sale of my properties, my home, which the court basically has been holding in trust accounts through the attorneys. Once I went through the 7:30 evaluation and the court removed the supervised monitors after 100 visits to prove that I'm not any kind of danger, to which the court biased or placed bias against me, making me seem as though I'm some sort of dangerous individual. Not only did I do everything that the court asked to do over the 30 plus court dates that were prescribed, I showed up at every single court hearing in a suit and tie with respect, and I did everything that the court stated to do. 866 days later, I've still not seen my 4 children. That being said, she further introduced another person called Dr. Galindo, Dr. Miriam Galindo. She's got about 35 acronyms after her, comma after her name. Now, while she was assigned as a reintegration specialist to create reunification in my case, she actually filed a CPS charge against me, to which she then introduced additional professionals into the case, and that's kind of where everything just went downhill. I ended up with a 5-year domestic violence restraining order. My judge never allowed me to speak, never provided any sort of evidence or evidentiary hearing or any trial for that matter. Every time any defense was being spoken on my behalf, it was completely shut down. And just recently, she actually rubber stamped legal fees for domestic violence in excess of $150,000, even though I have itemized receipts and billing from the other law firms that basically stated that the majority of the stuff that they introduced to the case was not domestic violence related at all. In fact, they had nothing to go off of for domestic violence other than hearsay, and they had no case whatsoever. 3 attorneys actually had no case. So that being said, those are just kind of the basic details of my case. And now that it's been, 2.5 years since I've seen my children, my daughter actually just turned 15 years old yesterday. So it's been quite a while. It's been very hard. They thought they were going to break me, but it doesn't really look like they have. They're not going to. That being said, I'm speaking out on behalf of the mistreatment that I have endured by this court, this unjust system. And the only thing that I ask here is that I get a fair shot. I signed my life on the line for this country as a United States Marine, and I have no record no drug use, no history of anything, no court, no criminal, nothing. And this court has actually introduced criminal allegations against me, and the criminal courts contacted me, and I'm still free. So the family courts tried to basically slap me with something criminal, which would only strengthen their case on their domestic violence side. So here we are. I'm just asking that people can actually hear what it is that I've gone through, and to see the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've had to shell out in order to satisfy the eyes of the court for it to get me nowhere. And the amount of professionals that have been assigned to my case, to my children, for therapies to be paid only out of these stipulations through the courts as well. It's just a racket, and it's really, really unfortunate. And at the beginning, when I stated something about child trafficking, I'm not talking about like Epstein trafficking. To an extent, I'm actually talking about the fact that the court is trafficking these children to professionals. Minors counsel hands them off to their professional, to that professional, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And these children are not being considered here. Not only have they removed a stable and present parent in their children's lives, but they've introduced all these strangers and these actors that are speaking on behalf of these children. We just want our kids back and our God-given rights.